all-in-one video. It's a tutorial and a review on the Beige Cosmetics x Carli Bybel palette that I picked up a few weeks back at my local Ulta. Finally, the display had 2 left, so I snagged one because I thought, let's give it a go. I played with the tester at the store and it seemed to be very pigmented and the colors are very beautiful. Although I will say, nothing in this palette is unique to my collection because I have just way too much makeup than the average everyday person. It's a little bit ridiculous, but nonetheless, my curiosity was piqued and I thought, let's give it a go. So, what we're going to do is start off with the tutorial of the entire eye look, and I will list everything that I used face-wise, like foundation and all that stuff, in the description box, as always, to make it just easier for you if you're curious of what else I'm wearing on my face. And then after the tutorial, I will tell you my official thoughts and show you some swatches. So let's get into this entire look right here. I have already applied a little bit of concealer and some translucent powder over it on my upper lids. That is going to act as my primer. So I guess a good place to start is by taking the lightest shade and using that over my entire lid space. This is a very light cream color, very close to my skin tone, and I'm going to be applying that with the Morphe E3 brush, which is a really nice eyeshadow brush. It's super soft. And this light sort of warmish tan color here, which is what I'm going to use in my crease. And I'm going to use this Royal & Langnickel crease slash smudge brush that looks like this. I'm going to use the crease portion of it to apply that color. Then I'm going back in with that same brush that I used to apply the cream color, and I'm just going to kind of use the very side of the brush with just whatever's left on it to clean around the edges of that light tan shade. Alright, so then I'm going to work on deepening up the crease a little bit. I'm going to take the Zoeva 228 Luxe Crease Brush. It's one of my favorites. It's got that pointed tip to it, and it's a tapered crease brush. I don't know what I want to do with this. I think I'm going to go in with this deep kind of matte mauve-y plummy shade. This one's a little bit darker, more purple, but I'm going to go in with this one right here on the very tip of the brush, and I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm going to look down into a mirror to really see my natural crease, and I'm going to just follow that lightly with this color just to kind of define it a bit. And as I do this, I'm just taking a little bit at a time. It's better to add as you go instead of starting with too much and then trying to remove it, because that's going to be quite difficult to almost impossible if you get way too much. What I've done is I've just followed my natural crease and just kind of followed that same exact shape. I'm not taking it up too high or coming down too low into my lid space. It's not so much as a cut crease because we have that transition color that helps sort of create a blended look to it, but if you were to take just a color like this and with a brush like this style and just use that, only that, it will kind of give you a bit of a cut crease look because you're sort of carving out your natural crease, which is what I've done. And then again, with the crease brush that I used to apply my transition, I'm just going to softly go around the edges. Again, as you add, make sure you blend to get a really soft look. And this is so pretty. That sort of plummy kind of purpley tone looks so pretty. So fall. And I think I'm going to move on to the lids because I do like the way that looks. You could, if you wanted to, take it a step further, which I may. I don't know how this is going to end up. But you could do this deeper color right here if you wanted to on the outer V. Alright, so for my lid, I'm going to switch to a Visanti Eyeshadow 2 brush, which looks like this. Use this in most of my tutorials recently. Love it. I got it in my Ipsy bag. Such a good brush. It actually looks like a concealer brush, but it's perfect for packing on eyeshadow onto the lids. Now, the color that I'm going to use today is this really light gold color. I don't use a whole ton of gold. from day to day, I usually just use kind of like bronzy tones, warm tones, but this is such a pretty gold. If you wanted to add a bit of pink, because that pairs so beautifully with these kind of plummy, kind of fallish colors, you could use this really light pink here on the lid. This is one of the highlight shades. This is actually a really beautiful color, but I think I'm going to go for this one because I haven't made a lot of use out of this particular one. So that's what we're doing. And it's such a pretty gold. It's not an obnoxious type of gold, which I don't really care for shades like that. I think this is just so pretty. Adds a little bit of something versus just having the bare lid, which you could totally do that too if you didn't want to put anything down. And then I'm going to take that same brush with that same color, and I'm going to sort of use the tip of that brush, even though it's rather large for the inner corner. I'm going to carry that color down in this inner part just to kind of create some brightness and to highlight. And then to make that lower lash line blend and go well with the upper crease area, I'm going to take the same two shades, so this light tan and then this mauve shade right here, and just add a little bit of that on the lower lash line. Smaller crease brush, I'm going to just smudge everything out and blend it. Alright, so I'm going to do some black liquid liner on the upper lashes. This is the Tattoo Liner by Kat Von D. It's my favorite liquid liner, the high-end wise. And I'm going to tightline with a black eyeliner from Marc Jacobs. Now for the lower waterline, what I'm going to do is apply the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Besto. This is the most perfect fall color. It's not quite plum or burgundy, but it's not quite brown. It's like mixing burgundy, brown, and plum together. So pretty. So I'm going to use this color in the waterline and just stick to a little bit of black liner on the upper lashes. You feel free to do whatever line you want. You can skip it. Do you. Whatever you want to do. Something on the lower lash line, I'm going to take the darkest matte shade that's kind of purpley in the palette with an angled liner brush, just a tiny little detail brush, and I'm going to smudge a little bit of this under the liner and make it just a little bit thicker and smokier. And of course, no look is complete without some mascara. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Mega Wear for the lower lashes and my holy grail for the upper lash line. This is the Maybelline The Rocket Volume Mascara. Alright, so I've applied some bronzer because I was looking a little bit deadly there, and some blush. It'll all be listed down below in the description box. So part of this palette is not only having the 10 eyeshadows, but there's 4 highlight shades, which are the larger pans. I have mine upside down so I don't blind you with the mirror, but they're the 4 large pans. And I only use these 2 shades here to highlight. These other 2 that are kind of golden and kind of coppery bronze are just not highlight shades for someone as fair as I am. So those are just for shadow purposes for me. So I'm going to mix both of these because that's what I've been doing and I have been enjoying it very much. So I'd like to start off with the light pink one. Well, if I'm in frame, the light pink one here with the Morphe M501. it is the brush that I highlight. It's perfect. And I take a lot of it. Let's tap some of that off. And I'm just going to add it to the tops of my cheekbone, and I'm going to kind of come up here on the arch, highest point of my brows. A little bit more on this side. I feel like I have lint in my hair. And then I'm going to take the pink one as well, a little bit down my nose. And Cupid's bow. Now you could stop there. It gives you a soft, really pretty pink glow. It's kind of like a brightening pink, but I'm going to take it a little step further because Mama can be a little over the top with highlights, but whatever. I'm going to take the gold one right here. It's like a kind of like a champagne-y type shade. I'm going to wipe off the brush a little bit on a napkin and then go in with that one. They are very pigmented, and I'm going to just lightly go over that pink. Just to add a little bit more of a glow. And hit the center of my forehead with it. And you don't have to use both colors, but like I said, I love me some highlights. And there it is. It gives you such a pretty glow. Love those two shades together. Alright, so that completes the look. I hope that you guys like that. I love the look. I think it looks really pretty, and I like the fact that I can get a very fall type look with something very inexpensive. I think this was like, I don't know, $15 at my local Ulta stores, and you can also get it on the Beige Cosmetics website, which will be linked for you below. Just a convenience to help you out if you're interested in it. And if you can use the coupons at Ulta. They usually have like a $3.50 off 10 or more, or off 15 or more. You could use those coupons and it comes out a little bit cheaper, and you can save yourself some money shipping cost wise by getting it in person in store at Ulta. Now, I will say that I do like the colors. I think that they're really, really pretty, and it's just nice to be able to try out products that are created with a collaboration with a YouTuber. I personally have not watched a lot of Carli's videos. I've watched just a few over the last several years, and I think that she's really, really beautiful. She's a beautiful girl, and I just thought, you know, why not give it a try? And you never know, it might actually turn out to be pretty good, and I actually enjoy it. I am presently surprised because I do have some Beige Cosmetics products. Some are really good and some are okay, you know, not really my favorite thing. But I was surprised that the pigmentation, I mean, if I just kind of swirl my finger in these big pans, you can see from a distance how intense those are. And then, of course, you probably wouldn't use them that pigmented, but, I mean, you could if you use your finger to apply it, but there is the two of those, and that's just swiping it right across my hand. So they're very pigmented and very surprisingly creamy and blendable. And I do like the mattes. I thought that the mattes were going to give me more problems than they actually did. They're a little bit not as creamy as some other brands, but definitely, look, these are the mattes, and then you have that darker color that is kind of patchy just a little bit, that really deep dark one right here. This one, it's a little bit chalky, but it also has a subtle kind of satin finish, and that one takes a little bit more building and some more work to it. I'm not doing the best job in swatching, but there's some of those deeper shades. I do think that this is a good palette to have if you're wanting shades like this, those kind of mauve-y, kind of plummy, purpley tones, some like beautiful bronze shades for fall time, because those are like the typical fall colors. That doesn't mean you have to stick with that for the fall season. You can wear whatever you want, but if you're looking for some that can give you some neutral shades, like these sort of lighter ones here, and give you some bronzy shades and some purple shades for the fall, this will be a really nice palette to try. Very inexpensive. I will say that this color here and here, these two kind of look very similar. Those are those two shades, so they kind of have some similarities. Very close in color. I think one is just a little bit more kind of coppery, and that's this one here, which is the highlight, and then the top one is the actual eyeshadow. I think that one is just a little right. I think so. Either one of those. I think I might have confused the swatches, but they're very, very close. One is just more copper and one isn't as copper, but beautiful colors. And my only thing, I think I may have mentioned this already previously when I was talking about the highlights, when I was applying it, that these two shades here that are highlight shades are a little bit too dark for someone of my skin tone, and for someone who's even more fair than I am. You could lightly take a little bit of it on a fluffy brush and dust it over a blush. I wouldn't really recommend this shade to use as bronzer if you're someone fair like me or lighter, because it's just not the right shade. As you can see, that's not really a typical bronze shade, and it has that metallic finish to it, so it's going to be very, very shimmery. If it was satiny, then maybe we could make it work, but I do use these two larger ones as eyeshadows, and I stick to these two light ones as highlight. It's your typical cardboard packaging. If you're curious, it does have a mirror, which is a very good quality, I would have to say, and if you're traveling, it makes it so much easier having that mirror built in for you, and it's very sleek, doesn't take up a lot of space, but if you want to take your makeup on the plane as a carry-on, then this is definitely not that much space it's going to take up in maybe a purse or a smaller makeup bag. So I'm really impressed with it. I hope you guys like this video where it's like a tutorial and review in one. If you've tried it, please let me know in the description. No. In the comment section. I always do that. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this palette, what you think about the look, and I will put the link down below if you're interested. Don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up the video and become part of my YouTube family. Thank you for spending some of your day with me, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's all listed in the description box per the usual. I hope to chat with you there, and have a fabulous day, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.